Hey people, it's Ariel Phoenix here, SelfPublishedWhiz.com, self-published author, and sometimes illustrator. And today I just wanted to do a fun video where I just draw and show you how you can illustrate your own book, even if you're not an illustrator, because I got this iPad. I went and bought the, at the time I bought the 2018 the cheapest one I could get, second hand on eBay. It's in really good condition, you know, not a lot of use. And because I'd seen a video and I'd seen a guy, I can't remember the channel now, but he not only did he illustrate his book on here, but he also made his own font, and that really sold me. I was looking into making my book, and that just really sold me on the whole concept of, you know, illustrating it yourself. And again, I am not an illustrator. I'm a little bit artistic. Maybe I don't give myself credit enough because I have created a lot of stuff, and I have illustrated my own books. And but the iPad and any sort of tablet that you can actually see the screen and you have a pen, you can do a lot with. You can do so much with. So I just wanted to show people how, if you have something like this, not to go out and buy it, but if you have something like this, how you can illustrate your own book just using pictures. So I'm going to do something from scratch. I don't know how much space I've got, and I apologize for this setup. My paper is very old. It needs replacing, so my screen might not be as clear as it should be, and I can't find my tripod. So the setup I wanted to have this completely overhead and show more of the screen, I can't do right now. But nonetheless, let's just get right into it. I hope the audio is recording because this is just a brand new setup. But what I use obviously is this iPad Pro. This is the 10.5 inch version, and I have an app called Procreate. So literally, the guy I was watching on YouTube a couple years ago, he said he had an iPad Pro, and he literally just mentioned Procreate, and I think the software that he used to make his text, his font, his own font for his book. And I was sold. I was completely sold, and I went and found one, and I put the money aside to get that pretty much straight away. But yeah, so Procreate is the software. I think it's about £15 or £20. As you can see, I've just been designing my my blog images in here. And actually, I've just got tons. You've got folders in. Here's one I made earlier. If you know anything about Art Attack, I've actually been doing exactly what I'm going to show you now, making another book at the moment. But what this is, if I can, there we go. Yeah, so this is just my children. Can't see what can be seen. This is my children sitting on the chair. Let's take some more things away. Sitting on a chair. I think I started drawing over my son. And all I've done is I've taken the picture and then I've reduced the opacity, and then I've made new layers and just started drawing over that. So let me take this away again. Oh, let's put that back and put the layers over slowly. So there's my son. I'll put this layer underneath. Then my daughter shows up, and they're playing the PlayStation. Well, my son's playing Minecraft, and my daughter thinks she's playing with him. And I got as far as doing the sofa and the shading of the sofa, but that's underneath this picture, so let's drag that under again. So I've done the sofa and the shading of the sofa, and it's already starting to look like a cartoon. And I got up to one eye on my son. So I could continue drawing this picture, or I could just start a new one. I'm going to start a new one to just show you how easy it is. What else was there? I think that's it. That's all I got up to. So take away the background image, and that was just what I was going to do with it, and kind of make it a fun theme like that. And yeah, and look at that. That's a whole cartoon. So obviously your illustrations aren't going to be the best, but they don't need to be the best. And I mention that all the time. They do not need to be the best. So yeah, so this is Procreate, and it does take some getting used to, but it is fairly straightforward. So whether you're a beginner or a professional, you will be able to use Procreate. Now, and it is going to take some learning, especially if you're not an illustrator. I've learned so much since having it. But anyway, so first what you want to do is set your image size, and I think the best thing to do here is to get the dimensions for the book page size that you want, and just do that. So I've already got here, because I've done 8x10 before, I've got 8x10 with the margins taken into considerations, 8.627 inches by 10.75. So I'm going to use that as my template. And you start off with a blank screen, and all you need to do is, obviously once you've taken your pictures for your book, you just want to go and insert photo. So I'm going to insert a photo. I'm going to cut the video just in case. I don't know what's on my timeline, but it's probably some personal stuff there. So I'm just going to select a picture and I'll get back. So I've just chosen this gecko. Sorry, I'm calling it a gecko. It's clearly not a gecko. It's some sort of dragon. I've chosen this dragon. I think it's a South African one. I'm going to make it a bit bigger just because I'm going to make it kind of be the bottom of the image. And all I'm going to do here, can you see it? Yeah, you can see clearly. All I'm going to do here, I would normally turn the screen this way. Now all I'm going to do is, I think I'll do the rock that he's on first as a new layer. And I'm going to turn the opacity down a bit. But the light is quite bright, so having a bit of trouble seeing on my end. Okay, so I've turned the opacity down and I've made a new layer, and now all I'm going to do, make sure my brush is on black, and I'm going to choose my favorite drawing brush, which is just a technical pen, nothing fancy. I'm going to turn the size of the brush down, and yeah. So again, this is how you do it on an iPad, but you can do this with one of those drawing tablets where you can see the image on the computer, or just another tablet where you can see the picture behind you. It really doesn't need to be an iPad, doesn't need to be Procreate. Any drawing software that comes with a tablet and pen. So whether it's you doing it on the computer with Photoshop or Illustrator, or you doing it on another tablet with whatever app it comes with, it will do the same thing. So like I said, I'm going to do the background, the rock first. So I'm just going to make it a bit more like that like that. And I could now just drag a color in there just to demonstrate, because I want to keep this simple. I'm not going to try and go into artist mode, and that would be part of the background. So this sandy rock, and you can drag that back under the picture, or you can just mute it, hide it so it doesn't distract you anymore, because the next layer that you're going to be using is one that will be going on top of it. So once you've colored in your lizard, he'll be going on top of the rock and you won't be able to see through it, of course. So you can just pinch and zoom right in and get all the details that you need. But what I'm going to do first is just a rough outline of the lizard. I'm going to make my brush a bit smaller. And this would be a children's book, so it really doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm fighting my inner perfectionist, and trying to get myself to just do it as rough as possible, just so I can show you how easy it is. And there's his eye. Because what you want to do is make sure it still looks very cartoony. You don't want it to look like you've just copied a picture. You do want it to be fairly cartoony. So actually, I shouldn't do the eye so perfect. It should be quite, I'm a cartoon, So let me just make the eye. I just do a round eye like that. And it's easy to, did you see what happened there when I made the circle? I just held it and it just, you know, it's just so easy, so easy. And I'll do a big circle there. And their eyes are kind of like that, aren't they? Yeah, so there we go. More cartoony. Looks a bit scary. But and then here again, you're not gonna try and you're not even gonna try and copy all those scales. You're gonna take the rough outline and you can add your details in later. So this is kind of how his head looks. And there's another layer there. And you could leave it like that, or you could add some more. Doesn't really matter. What you could do is just do some lines just to show that it continues on that way. He's got a little nostril hair. And let's just do that. Very ugly dragon. Yeah. So again, that's all you're doing. All you're doing. You don't have to follow it exact, because again, it's not supposed to be a photocopy. It's supposed to be your very own cartoon. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that these lines are going to the end, because when you go to fill color, I'm just going to show you again. I don't know how it works on other things, but when you go to fill color, you're literally just, oopsie, that's because a line wasn't filled in. So there it is. You can see where there's a gap. Fill that in. And I'm going to make him different colours because it's a kid's book and I can do that. Let's give him a yellowy head, yellowy green. Oh, another thing not filled in. But you get the point. You just want to make sure that everything's covered. There we go. He's looking like a cartoon. I'm going to give him some orange lips. And I just really love how Procreate works and how the iPad works. I've tried some of the tablet. I've tried other tablets, and I've tried the interface, the USB interface with Photoshop, and they all work just as well. But for the ease of, you know, just picking this up and getting on with work, there's nothing like it, because you know you have to otherwise plug in your device and get going that way. And you can't do it on the go. I gotta pick up my iPad all the time and just start designing something. Okay, again, just let me try and speed this up. Scaly arms. Doesn't need to be perfect. Keep that in mind. It doesn't need to what? It doesn't need to be perfect. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Look at that. Look at my lizard. That is a cartoon lizard. And again, as you get used to it, it becomes quicker and quicker and easier to do this. It's just going to be second nature, you know. Swapping between different pens and brushes, all of that stuff becomes second nature and just saves you a lot of time. You can also set all these different shortcuts to help you. So as you just saw, I can make a mistake and undo, and that's something I love. Drawing on pen and paper. I'm not gonna knock drawing on pen and paper, but for the sake of illustrating books, digital illustration really is just a winner, because you would need to, if you've done, obviously you'd sketch it first, and then you'd be going over with your Sharpie and then solidifying everything. But you could still make a mistake or accidentally draw in the paper, and it's just not as easy to go and rectify that issue. So the fact that you can make a mistake, or a child can touch your screen, you can just undo with 2 fingers. And providing you don't press gallery and come out, the changes won't be saved. And this is another thing, like the changes save automatically. There's no saving. You're not going to lose your work. it just saves and you continue where you left off. And even when it dies, you don't have to worry about losing your work. You just come back in. But hopefully you're not like me and you don't just let it die. Even when it's telling you I've got 5% left, you just go and charge it like a good owner should. Zigzag. Some more zigzags. Oh, I'm so sick of zigzags now. It's just a tail, so it'll be done soon. But really and truly, again, this is something I have to get over myself and not stop trying to be a perfectionist. It's a children's book, and if you look at some of the illustrations out there, a lot of the time they're not great. They just convey the message, and that's all you should be worrying about when you're doing your children's book, is drawing an image that conveys the message. Whatever message that is, you can draw a child in a rocket going off to space. Planets don't need to look like the planets as you know them from your school exercise books. Yeah, I think that's it. They just have to look like planets. And if you show your picture to a child, if I show this picture to my son, he's going to tell me it's a lizard. It doesn't need to look exact. I'm not trying to convince him it's real. He just knows it's a lizard, and that's what it's there to represent. So yeah, it's just rush these zigzags up because, again, I just want to show you how easy it is. Sorry, lizard, if you feel very strongly about your appearance and I'm just butchering it. I can imagine him finding this picture and just being like, I don't have zigzags on my back. Yeah, sorry, mate. Okay, zigzags. Oh, these are not zigzags at the end, but again, I'm just trying to show you. Okay, all right. So that is my lizard done. Now the hard part is, or the part that's going to take longer, I should have chosen something else to demonstrate with, because now I've got to colour this in and show you. Well, you have a couple options to colour in. If you don't really care about the edges, there are some settings you can do to make sure you stay within the edges, but I should actually do that. You could clip it and go underneath, but what I'm going to do, it took me a while to learn about clipping, so I'm just going to show you the two ways you can colour it in. So you can go and airbrush and put it on something like, put it on a hard brush, I guess, make it bigger, and you can kind of colour underneath and then just erase, or try your best to stay in the lines, I guess. You could do it like that, and this way, because it's got taper as well, touch taper, you could press hard for a dark or soft for a light. But what I usually do, without all the shading and stuff, again, we're keeping it basic just to make sure you know how easy it is to do it. That means more gaps. There is a solution for this as well. If it is semi connected and the pen is just being a bit extra, you can just choose how much you want it to fill in, so you can narrow it in. But obviously when there's a blatant gap, it's not going to do anything. So let's just find the other gap. I can't see another gap. I really can't see it. Oh, silly me, I'm on a different layer. Okay, cool. There we go. But now it's got white gaps in it, so I have to go and drag that and make sure the threshold is a lot higher. Just get that threshold all the way back up. There we go. All right. And again, that's what you're doing. You're just filling in different colours. So because we're going to make him different colours anyway, we can just put these anywhere and he'll be happy. Look at this, if you're following along with me illustrating a whole book. So what you obviously need to be prepared for is the fact that this does take time, but illustrating a book takes time. So if you've set off to, you know, if this is the journey that you're on, you already know it's going to take some time to do. But again, as you get better at it, there should really be no pressure. As you get better at it, you can streamline the process, and you just end up working on multiple things because now you're free to, you know, make as many different books as you like. And that's kind of where I'm at. If I get an idea, the process is just writing the book and then doing the images. I don't put any pressure on myself. I just do it. I just do it whenever. So if I feel like releasing a new book, I just do that, and I don't have to then rely on hiring somebody to do the illustrations for me unless I know I really want a book that is, you know, of a specific quality. Like I want the illustrations to be better than something I can do. And then, of course, in that case, I'll just hire somebody and give them the draft. And the good thing, again, though, about having this is you can really give them, as like if I wanted a better lizard drawn, I wouldn't go and do all the colouring. I would just tell them what colours I want, but you could easily just sketch your whole... You could easily sketch your whole, what's the word I'm looking for, storyboard on your iPad, and give them that, and they know exactly what you want it to look like. So I'm going to take that back image away. I'm going to put the rock back there, and now your lizard is on a rock. Your lizard is sitting on a rock, but I'm going to make this lizard a bit fatter, a bit bigger. And that's what you can do. That's the power of different layers. You can just go like that. But obviously you have to be wary of bleed. So I usually have my template in the back telling me where the page bleed, where it ends. So I don't mind obviously the rock going to the edge of the page, but I don't want any of my lizard to get cut off. So I think the bleed, can't see it now, but these are templates that will be available on the site very soon. So different templates with the margin and the bleed lines to show you exactly where you need to stop. And that will help you a lot when you go to format your book. But generally, you want your images to go right to the edge of the page, and your important pictures to just stay within those lines. So I can make him wider by putting it on freeform and just doing that, make him a bit fatter. Okay. So now our lizard's done. We can make a new layer and go underneath. Let's just go underneath. Oh, go underneath the rocks too. And we can do the sky. So a quick way would be just to make the background a blue sky colour. We could be creative. We could just make it that kind. Oh, that looks really nice, that green. But no, we're going to make it a blue colour. Nice blue sky. And then we're going to add some clouds, because we love clouds, and we're going to do cartoon clouds. Yes, we are. I was going to go and do realistic clouds, but the voice in my head told me, no, it's a kid's book, and I'm going to go do my cartoon clouds the way I drew them when I was little. I'm going to make the brush a bit bigger, and I've got my layer there, and this is what the cloud's going to look like. Let's make this bigger. It's going to look like this. Bump, bump, bump. Whoops. You still want it to connect because you've got to fill it in. Well, I won't do bump, I'll do ooh, bump, bump, fill. Boom. One cloud down. Yeah, you can put this cloud anywhere. Make it a bit smaller. And you can just duplicate that cloud if you want, and then just mess with it a bit. So you've got different ones, but they're so easy to draw. You might as well just draw your variation of clouds. With just clouds. I'll keep them all on one layer. I'm zooming a little bit. I'm going to give it 3 bumps. And if you hold it, it locks the perfect bump. So like this. Oh, don't want it overlapping. I can't see. Bump. Boom, another cloud. And I do a tiny one in the distance. I do want to put a sun there though, so I could just move these clouds over a bit, make them a bit smaller. Oh, there's another one. Okay, let's get rid of you. And one more little cloud. Bump, bump. No, that's not what clouds look like. Let's keep it simple. Bump, bump, bump. Cloud. Okay. Make you, I can't make it smaller now. It's all in one layer, but what you can do is you can go to the select tool. Oh, you can't see it. Can you see it? I can't see what can be seen right now. You go to the select screen, the select tool, and you just circle the cloud, and now you can pick it up and do, they've added some new tools in recently. There we go. So let's put it there. Okay. Now we're going to do a sun. And how are we going to do the sun? Exactly how suns look in books. Yellow. And a quarter of a circle. Hey, babe.
Hey.
And let's do some sun rays. I always call it the sun rays. I'm sure that's what they are anyway. We can do them like this. Might be a bit much. So there's my sun, my clouds, my lizard on his big sandy rock. You do have a lot of different textures and things in here to really bring your stuff alive, and you can download more. You can download others. I've got loads of different free brushes here. You've got like floral leaf patterns and stuff. You've actually got one with little trees. Where would I find that? So, I've actually got clouds here, like a rainforest. So all you do is select white and you'd put those clouds in like that. But that's, you don't have to. These are just extra little things. And I do have a sun tool as well, so I'd make that quite big. Let's hide my sun and see how that one looks. Oopsie, I'll make a new layer. Okay. Oh, it's white. Just make it a bright orangey yellow. Make it bigger. And you would just put that there. That does actually look a lot nicer. So that's it. That's how you would illustrate. That's how you could illustrate your book if you were not particularly artistic and you just wanted to get the images done. You could also, if you wanted your text to be at the bottom, you would just take your brush or eraser, you'd put it on something like a soft brush, and you would make it a bit bigger. You could just, I forgot about the background. So, okay, you wouldn't do that then. You'd put it on white. Make this a bit smaller. Oopsie, they're suns. There we go. Alright. You would just make a section here. If you were doing your text all on the same page, you just make a section here. And you could put your text here. So, you have the option to... Oopsie, what have I got up here? Oh, I've got the sun up here. Yeah, so you have the option to add your text in straight from here, which is really cool because apparently they didn't have this feature before. So you can actually now go in and you can change the size, so the size of the font. Let's go with 32, and we're gonna make it black. So you could, I don't do this anymore. I used to. I've done quite a few of my books. I've done all in Procreate. So that is add in the text. That's the illustration, add in the text. I've done that all in Procreate. So you just type the clever lizard sits on top of the rock, of the sandy rock. The sandy rock, absorbing or just taking in the warm sun heat rays. Doesn't matter, does it? Because it's not a real book. And then you could just put that how you want it to be, and there you go. And bear in mind you've got the margin on the outside to worry about, because you don't want your text to get cut off. But look, that's a whole page. That's a page in a children's book, and that was not hard to do at all. So yeah, this is why on my blog I champion the iPad specifically, but trying to illustrate your book yourself, even if you don't have, or if you don't feel like you're particularly artistic, you can still do it. This is very, very simple. This is very basic skills required here, and also you get to create your book without spending hundreds on illustration. So there you go. That's it, guys. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. And be sure to check out www.selfpublishedwhiz.com, where I give lots of tips and share my expertise on illustration, children's book illustration. And I've also got a free course coming out for children. So if you know any children that want to create their own book and get their book illustrated, I show them exactly how to do that. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.